This is Paul. Yeah, I'm just reading this dictionary, and they have a word called chicanery, fraud or trickery resulting in damages to an individual or individuals. Such an act is illegal. You know, fraud or trickery. I've read someplace about what's deceptive. Now, I was looking in this You and the Law, yes, and uh, I looked for chicanery, and I didn't see it here, but what I did see was a civil action, a lawsuit brought by a private individual or group to recover money or property, to enforce or protect a civil right, yes, to prevent or redress a civil wrong, yeah. It differs from a criminal action in which the state prosecutes an individual for committing an offense against all the people, yes. Um, I noticed that I was in court for quite a few months, and the state of Washington was the plaintiff. Yes, on this bench warrant, pooch. Plaintiff versus Paul Budnick. Yes. Does the state of Washington know that all of the public court records that were filed had no jurisdiction and had no authority because the protection order wasn't issued according to the Violence Against Women's Act? Pooch. I don't know exactly what the state of Washington is doing, but when they issued a warrant for my arrest, and it says here, criminal action in which the state prosecutes an individual for committing an offense against all the people. Now, when the state of Washington doesn't get involved, but they're named as the plaintiff, and I would think that I have the right to file a civil action for redress to recover money or property and to enforce or protect a civil right. I would think that the state of Washington, as a state, is obligated to enforce the civil rights of Americans. Now, in the last couple of days, I went through the 56 different entries on the Washington State Court website. And I explained that since I wasn't a resident of Washington State and the allegation of domestic violence took place on Guam, my concern is, why is it that there's no one in the state of Washington that doesn't see the crime of the state holding me in jail for 27 days when you issued a protection order where there's forgeries, pooch, where the petitioner didn't sign it, where I was not given any judicial days in 2011 and 2015, pooch, and I've emailed numerous individuals throughout the state of Washington, and no one seems to understand that the state of Washington was the plaintiff when they issued the bench warrant for my failure to appear. Now, I was sure about my response of what a citizen should do when invited to go to court. Now, this very fact that the city of Cleveland County, state of Washington, I had been through quite a few of these different documents, and I just wondered when the state of Washington's gonna fucking do something. Now, this is the state of Washington's instruction. It says the law requires the order to say the respondent received notice of the hearing. Yes. And this is the certified copy. Yes. Instructions or order. Okay. Now, I don't understand why there's not any employees in the state of Washington that do not understand the crime of violating the civil rights of citizens. Why is it that the state of Washington was named as a plaintiff when there was no jurisdiction for the arrest and there was no... Now I'm sitting here on the street, having emailed maybe 1,000 different email addresses today. In fact, I thought I had emailed the Washington State Guard. Yes, I had emailed Supreme Court justices. Yes, I'd emailed employees in Seattle, in King County, in other counties. I emailed the CPS, the welfare. I emailed about my missing and abducted sons. And I'm sitting on the fucking street because nobody in the state of Washington would actually enforce the civil rights of Americans. Now, when we're talking about the full faith and credit of the United States Constitution, and I have proven, I have documented about vexatious court proceedings so as to cause me injury and abuse my sons. I've documented about this unhonest or dishonest service or the office of to defraud me and my sons of our rights, and there's not a fucking employee in the state of Washington that would do anything. Now, I don't know what they're doing in the state of Washington, but when they name themselves as a plaintiff, when you issued a bench warrant, you put me in jail for 27 days, I'm pretty fucking sure that I can sue every oath of office in the motherfucking